You should know which actions are sanctioned and which are forbidden by Scripture. We talked about that. Sattvika actions and those yajnas and so forth, the big 5 yajnas, we talked about that. Those are definitely encouraged, sanctioned actions. And any actions that you can do that will produce what? A sattvic mind. Rajasika actions, those are not prohibited. They're not necessarily enjoined, but as long as they're in service of what? Your inquiry, those actions are worldly actions, which are where the Scripture does not condemn them. It's fine. You can do them. And then there's a bunch of actions which are definitely prohibited actions, which are totally contrary to inquiry, and those you should what? Avoid. So, and if you have any doubts about those, read the Scripture, because the Scripture will tell you. But basically, if you've got common sense, you'll basically only do sattvic actions, which will be what? Serving humanity, taking care of the environment, worshiping the ancestors, worshiping deities, so forth and so on. To what? Get your psychology converted into what? A pure and holy mind, a spiritual mind. So all of those. Karma, and he says it again, he repeats it, is difficult to understand. Now this is a famous verse, this next one. The one who sees actionlessness in action and action in actionlessness is wise and has done everything that needs to be done. It means your spiritual seeking is finished when you understand this statement. So you may take some contemplation. Okay, well, what does that mean? What is actionlessness? Awareness. And you're going to see actionlessness in action. What does that mean? What does it mean to see actionlessness in action?
Everything is not moving.
Everything is self.
Light awareness.
You see the self during the action.
That's it. Okay, now there's a couple of examples that are given in the Scripture. When you go to a movie, you go to a movie screen, and you see a mountain on the movie screen. See a mountain there. Is that mountain, it looks like it's still, it looks like it's not moving, doesn't it? Is it actually still? No, it's not. It's actually, an image is flickering on and off so fast that it tricks your eyes into making it look like it's still, doesn't it? So what are you seeing there? You're seeing, inaction in action. In action, you're seeing inaction. Isn't it? What about another example? You're driving in a train, and you come into a station, and you sit still. You're sitting still, and then what happens? The train on the next track goes that way, the opposite way, and what does it feel? It feels like you're what?
Moving. Yeah.
You're moving. Are you moving? No, you're not moving. But it feels like you're moving. What about there's another example. You're standing on the seashore, and there's a boat, and it's going away from you. And it's on the horizon. And it looks like, for the longest time, it looks like it's not moving, doesn't it? Have you ever seen that? Yeah. But yet it's speeding away from you full throttle, isn't it? But it looks like it's just sitting there. When you look at yourself through the subtle body, through the experiencing entity, what do you see? You see action in actionlessness. It looks like the actionless, the self, is actually doing, doesn't it? It looks like it's moving and changing and walking and talking and eating and sleeping and doing all the things that, and that's why you say, I am doing, I am walking, I am talking, I am sleeping, I am eating, and so forth and so on. But is the I actually doing that? No, it's not doing that at all. But it seems to be doing it. There's another example that Shankara uses. Lots of examples you see in that. It's a full moon night, and the wind is blowing, and there's some clouds in the sky, and you look at the moon, and it looks like the moon is racing across the sky. Why? Because the clouds are going this way, it looks like the moon is going that way. Is the moon moving? No, the moon, it's moving relative to that. But in that particular example, no, the moon's not moving. The clouds make it look like the moon is moving. Is it true that you're a doer, that you're moving? Think about this now. Where are all the things you've done right now? Where you've done, how many things have you done in your life? How many thoughts and feelings and experiences and actions and all? You've just done tens of thousands, millions of, who knows how many. How many breaths have you taken? How many thoughts have you had? How many places have you dragged your body to all over the world? Where is all that stuff now? I mean, huh?
In memory.
Yeah. And what about all the ones that aren't in memory? Even memory, where's your memory now? Huh? You have to, your memory is, you're right now here, where's your memory? Well, I've got to remember to get my memory here, so my memory's not real either. My memory just appears and disappears. Sometimes it doesn't work, I don't have a memory at all. Where is all that stuff? Is that real? And yet somehow you've got some idea, something, huh? But what about me? I'm here, aren't I? I'm here minus all that stuff, so who am I? I'm actionless awareness. Has any of those experiences changed you at all? No. No. There's a belief that what? By that this experiencing entity has changed, but has it actually changed? Has this? How can something that doesn't even exist have any reality apart from the belief in itself? How can it actually change? This experiencing entity, these three bodies, is just projected by Maya. It's not even changing. Yet I believe that what? The objects appearing in it somehow mean that it's changed. But even your experiencing entity, it's the same experiencing entity in all beings. It hasn't changed either. Only the experiences have come and gone. And where are they now? They're not here. Yet I'm here. The same I is here right now that was here like 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 50 years ago, or in my case 70 years ago, looking at that little boy's body. I can, it's just as clear as a bell. I can see my little, I was a little fat little chubby little baby, and I can remember seeing that body sitting there in a high chair, banging with my spoon on the high chair, and I can still see my mother come running in. And then I knew I had control of her. All I had to do was make a fuss and whack my spoon, and here came Mom. You know, the one who saw that's the same one sitting here teaching Vedanta right now. Where is all that stuff? Where is it? If it's real, and you're saying this happened to me, and that's me, and then I did this, and then I did that, and now I'm going to do this, and not, huh? Where is all that stuff? Right here now, it does not exist. It doesn't exist in you at all. It only exists when you think it exists. And when the thought disappears, what happens to it? It all goes. And no experience happens apart from a thought. And the thought of the experience, what? Is that real? No. Thoughts are just what? Appearing in you and disappearing in you. New ones come. Thoughts are coming into you and disappearing out of you every second. In between each one of those thoughts, there's a little tiny gap. And that one that's what? Sitting in the gap is you. In other words, behind all the thoughts is me, awareness, what? Just observing them coming and going. The action is taking place in me, but is actually anything happening? No. That's inaction in action. It looks like something's happening. Nothing's actually happening. That's why that David Godman wrote that book, Nothing Ever Happened. You know that the book about Papaji is a big 3-volume tome. It's called Nothing Ever Happened. It's taken from the idea, this teaching about the self, that what? The self is unborn. There's nothing but the self. Therefore, nothing ever happened. It just seems to be happening. So understanding that, it just makes you wise. You'll no longer think that experience is real. You'll understand it's apparently real. And then how are you going to deal with experience? You'll deal with it like what? Like you're an actor in a play. That's all. An actor, that's all. Enlightened people, they're doing everything everybody else is. They just know they're acting. They just know that the actor never forgets that he's acting, does he? Like in the movie, I've got to kill my wife, or the fame. Gotta kill my wife. Gotta kill my wife. Then, but as soon as the curtain goes down, there's my wife standing there to go to dinner with my wife. Now, do I go over? Oh, I forgot to kill her. I've got to kill my real wife? No. Means what? I knew all along in that play that I wasn't the doer. I wasn't the actor. I was the one that was what? Watching the act. And that's all this is understanding that what? The actor's there appearing in me, I'm not the doer. The doer's there, it's dancing, it's carrying on, it's got this and that, it's got all these ideas and so forth and so on. But what? That's not me. Once you got that clear, you're free. Freedom is just simply what? Identifying yourself as the doer. I mean, lack of freedom or bondage is just identifying yourself as the doer. Because then you're stuck in karma. Then you're stuck in action. There's no reason why the self can't act. But it what? It acts what? Spontaneously. Without what? The feeling of doership. It's the feeling of doership that's wearing us out. It's not the doings that kill us. It's the feeling that I have to do.
Or that I've done.
Or that I've done. That's right. That I've done, that I have to do, or that I am doing. It's that burden, this idea that's weighing us down. The actions themselves are happening automatically by the grace of the gunas. But because of ignorance, I take responsibility for all this. I have to suffer and enjoy the results of my actions. And I have to put forth actions over and over and over again. What? To feel good, to feel happy. That's the burden of this doership. And consequently, I never relax. I get all this tension. My body gets all kinds of problems. I have problems around me all along. Because why? I can't relax. Because I feel I have to do this. Well, that feeling of what? Doership is removed by this understanding that what? The self is not a doer. And that we just call moksha, or freedom, enlightenment.